Annette Jones, the Interim Pastor of South Suburban Missionary Baptist Church, a church where God is up to something. My topic for today's midweek moment is It Is Well With My Soul. I want to talk to you today about a man named Job. This man was blameless and upright. He feared God and shunned evil. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters, and he owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 donkeys, and he had many servants. He was the greatest man among all the people of the East, yet he suffered great losses. Satan sought out for a man that had never experienced suffering, never experienced pain, never been on the other side of the street, or as some of us would say, on the other side of the tracks. Satan questioned God about Job's praise and his worship. All praise is appreciation or gratefulness for what God has done. All worship is reverence or admiration for who God is. Isn't that like your own enemies that talk to other folks about you? They want to know who's praising you, who's got your back, who's in your corner, who is your ride or die. They want to know your business because they are your haters. Along with them being haters, they also bring about jealousy and envy. Jealousy is simply wanting what you got, and envy is not wanting you to have what you have. God accepted Satan's challenge and bragged on Job and told Satan that he could do anything he wanted to do to Job, but he could not take his life. So Satan set out to steal, kill, and destroy Job, steal his family, kill his hopes, and destroy his dreams. Listen to the story of Job. One day when Job's sons and daughters were feasting and drinking wine at the oldest brother's house, a messenger came to Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the donkeys were grazing nearby, and the Sabeans attacked and made off with them. They put the servants to the sword, and I am the only one who has escaped to tell you. While he was still speaking, another messenger came and said, the fire of God fell from heaven and burned up the sheep and the servants, and I am the only one who has escaped to tell you. While that servant was still speaking, another messenger came and said, the Chaldeans formed 3 raiding parties and swept down on your camels and made off with them. They put the servants to the sword, and I am the only one who has escaped to tell you. While that servant was yet speaking, another messenger came and said, your sons and daughters were feasting and drinking wine at the oldest brother's house, when suddenly a mighty wind swept in from the desert and struck the 4 corners of the house. It collapsed on them and they are dead. And I am the only one who has escaped to tell you. The book of Job hits a nerve with many Christians because it is a book of suffering, even when you have done everything right. You were the one that obeyed state order and sheltered in place while others went free without wearing a mask, but you did everything right. You were the one that wore protective gloves and stayed 6 feet from everyone while 250 people gathered in a crowded house for the economic stimulus party, but you did everything right. You were the one that used protective wear to guard off any contact with the virus, while others are using no protection or refuse to protect themselves from touching and being in close quarters with others. But you did everything right. Yet you started feeling sick. And upon taking the coronavirus test, you were diagnosed as a carrier that is asymptomatic or with full-blown coronavirus. So why are we suffering during this corona season? and it seems that we are sick, even if not from corona, we are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We are good people and do what is right, but even evil and terrible things happen to good people. I will tell you why bad happens to God's blessed people, because God has been bragging on you, telling your haters, including Satan, that you are the trusted one. You are the blessed one. You are the happy one. You are the beautiful one. You are the child of God that shows forth God's praise in spite of your suffering. Let me tell you that even the righteous suffer. Many of us believe that suffering should only occur from the wicked, or for the wicked, or for those who are careless about the health or welfare of others. We may even say suffering should happen to them, not to me. Come to shed light on us today is that we are all suffering at some point in our lives. We all go through patches of sickness, through valleys and dark days in our lives, through pitfalls and problems, through tests and trials. But it is how we fare when our troubles are over. How did we keep our peace through stormy times? How did we kneel and pray during unprecedented times? How did we rest in the Lord and depend on God to help us to make it through? David said, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. David is saying, it is well with my soul. After all that Job lost, cattle, the children, and his physical health, Job still reverenced God. In the end, Job received all that he had lost and double. There is a similar parallel to the story of Job of a successful Christian lawyer named Horatio Spafford. Spafford lived during the late 1800s and experienced his first trauma with the death of his 4-year-old son and the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, which ruined him financially as a successful lawyer. All of his property was burned up in the fire. His law firm burned down, and the insurance company refused to pay. They said it was an act of God. His business interests were further hit by the economic downturn of 1873, at which time he had planned to travel to Europe with his family by ship. In a late change of plans, he sent his family ahead while he was delayed on business concerning zoning problems following the Great Chicago Fire. While crossing the Atlantic Ocean, the ship his wife and 4 daughters were on sank rapidly after a collision with a sea vessel, and all 4 of Spafford's daughters died. His wife Anna survived and sent him the now famous telegram, "Saved alone." Shortly afterwards, as Spafford traveled to meet his grieving wife, he was inspired to write the hymn, "It is well with my soul." When peace like a river attended my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to know it is well with my soul. Today, God, it is well with my soul. I am thankful I have a peaceful sleep. Thankful I am alive with possibilities. Thankful I have a roof over my head. Thankful I have a job. Thankful that I have family and friends. Thankful that I have the Lord Jesus Christ on my side. Be blessed and don't be envious or shocked when others are prospering, because you don't know what they have been through to get there, what tests, trials, or tribulations they endured. All you need to do is just thank God for what you have and learn to say, "It is well with my soul." Be blessed.